Hi, guys.
Hello.
Poor Linda. Linda's having a heck of a morning. She needed to install something to be able to join us. So hopefully we get that figured out. But if not, this is going to be Mr. Moore and I will have to hijack her interview and just maybe fill in 3 things that we know that Etsy sellers do wrong. So hopefully we can get this to work. There's always tech issues when we have an interview. There's always, and most of the time it happens like behind the scenes and you guys don't see it.
Yeah.
So, but she's restarting her computer. So we're hoping that everything works out. Linda, we will keep communicating with you. If you're hearing this, we will keep our chat open and Mr. Moore will respond to you as we go. But for those who are joining us for the very first time, we spend the first 10 minutes, more like 7 minutes this time around, hanging out with you guys before we begin our scheduled topic. And today, super duper special because this is our first Q&A of November. And you might notice that we have taken down all of our Halloween decorations and we've replaced them with a turkey for now, but we are going to be putting up a tree down here. Super duper exciting. I'm going to try to fill the tree with some things that you guys have sent to us from some of our unboxings. So that's going to be super duper fun. For those who didn't get to attend live at Bitchcraft Fair last weekend, it was a blast. We had quite a few Handmade Alphas join us. Super duper fun. We did 2 presentations and we also handed out 2 scholarships to 2 alphas. One of the alphas, and I'm not going to say names, but one of the alphas traveled all the way from Pittsburgh to see us. So that just kind of shows that, you know, when you have that drive to learn more, no pun intended, because she did have a long drive, but we actually had an alpha who contacted us, I think in like Cincinnati, and said that they didn't have the time to come. And then we had somebody drive all the way from Pittsburgh and she ended
Michigan.
up. And did we have someone come from Michigan?
Yeah.
So it just kind of shows how, you know, how a little bit of effort can really pay off. Is the cat getting in the box?
No, she'll be all right.
How'd everybody's Halloween go? We have Fire Queen. I always say hello to Fire Queen because that's just a cool name. Joseph is here. Barbara is here, finally live. Barbara is a note taker. Barbara will sit and post pictures in the Handmade Alpha Facebook community, which if you're not a member, that is linked down below. But she will sit and post pictures of herself taking notes on all of our videos each week. And she finally gets to hang out with us live. So that's super duper exciting. Let's see. I wanted to give multiple notices because everyone hates it when you don't give like advanced notice. We have 2 big things coming up for the alphas. For those who are unaware, and this is kind of secret sauce, but we're doing something super duper cool with Renee Christine soon. I can't say too much, but she's launching something super special for the alphas that she hasn't launched in, I think, over 2 years is what she said. You might have seen a few hints circulating around the Handmade Alpha Facebook community group, but that super secret thing should be coming around November 10th. If you're interested in enrolling in this super secret thing that she hasn't opened in a very long time, and it's not Handmade Titan University, just like quick disclaimer, because that opens every year. And we have Handmade Alpha Academy opening on December 1st.
A month away.
1 month from yesterday. So get it on your calendars. We're super duper excited. And to celebrate, hopefully, if tech works in our favor, every Friday we are going to have a Handmade Alpha Academy student lead our Q&As and teach you some useful information. And then if you want to ask them questions after like our main topic, that, you know, you can ask questions about the topic, or if you have Handmade Alpha Academy questions that you would rather, you know, have a student perspective on, because I can talk all I want about my own program, obviously, but it's way more valuable for you guys to be able to communicate with actual students. And just a disclaimer, they're not like paid affiliates or anything. So all of their feedback is genuine. If you end up even wanting to know some negative aspects, we're fine with that too. If they had a negative experience, which I don't think anybody has, but you're free to ask if you're curious. So that's going to be a lot of fun. We've got about 3 minutes. Let's see. Barbara's like, yep. Hello, Lisa. Hello, Heather. Hello, Sharon, master of none, who finally caught us live. Bronwyn, Posh Kitty, who is Colleen. Barbara, I'm attending the Handmade Pre-Alpha Academy when doing my notes. I've gained so much knowledge watching your YouTube channel and being part of the Facebook group. And these are live streams for any Handmade Alpha Academy students who might be watching. Like, I'm sure that they can verify that our live streams, that's just bonus content on top of Handmade Alpha Academy. So when you're in the academy, a lot of people ask us, like, how is this different? They want to know before they enroll, how is this different than like your paid program? And it's not even the same content. So we are constantly trying to rack our brains each Friday to think of new content to bring you each and every week. When we did our presentation at Bitchcraft Fair with our alphas, they asked us, they were like, how do you have new content every single Friday? And I'm like, well, to be totally honest, we have no idea what we're going to talk about until the Thursday night before. And usually I figure out what our topic is going to be while I'm sitting at karate, because Mr. Moore and our daughter both take karate, and we're there from 6:30 to 8. Mm-hmm. So we sit there, and I usually have like a book or a notebook, and I'm usually working there, but that's where I decide what our topics are going to be. Other than this month, because we have Handmade Alpha Academy students joining us. Hopefully Linda is going to be able to join us though, because if not, I don't know what we're going to do. We'll figure it out, guys. In fact, one of my favorite lines, you guys have probably heard me say it a million times, and I say it very frequently in the Handmade Alpha Academy, but flexibility is my favorite F word. So make flexibility your favorite F word. And fun fact, I first heard that phrase. Some of you might not know this, but I actually was in school for early childhood education. I went to a joint vocational school where I was learning a trade. It was a trade school. And I was going to go to college for early childhood education. And then I realized that it was kind of one of those labor of love things where you have to really, really love it because you don't get paid that much for it. So ultimately, I ended up deciding not to take that path. But that is what I spent. I spent 2 years in school for early childhood education, and I spent 1 year or a little less than a year working there. But my instructor always told us as students, make flexibility your biggest or your favorite F word. All right, guys, it is noon on the dot, and let's see, we still don't have Linda, unfortunately. So we're going to probably hang out.
Stuff happens.
Tech issues.
Unpreventable.
That's how you know that it's live. So to kind of kick this off, while we wait for Linda to get her sitch figured out here, let's see.
Amber said, I love how all of your Halloween decorations turned into one single turkey. Yeah.
Let's see. Hold on a minute. Say it should be the link above for my dad. My dad's trying to watch us live and he can't figure out how to get in our live stream. So let's go ahead and talk about 3 things, not 3 things. We'll add on to Linda's 3 things that Etsy sellers commonly do wrong. And keep in mind, since Linda had a very nice, beautiful list of topics ready to go, I'm going to be pulling these topics off the top of my head. So let's go ahead and think of some of the things that I notice Etsy sellers doing wrong while we wait for Linda to hopefully get in here. We're like rapidly refreshing the page, hoping that a new message will pop up from her because she had to restart her computer. But to gear you guys up for the holiday season, one of the main things that I hear a lot of sellers saying, and it's a huge mistake in my opinion, and you guys might disagree, but one of the biggest things that I really hate when I'm visiting an Etsy shop and I'm ready to shop there. Like, for example, I'm scrolling through listings and I see a listing that I like, but I want to go to their storefront. I want to see what else they have. As I click on that, and they don't have any established branding that's visible. For example, one of the things that I hate is when an Etsy seller doesn't take the time to make a banner. And I know that this is something that we've discussed before, but I want to reiterate a little bit on why. Because a lot of sellers think that if they use the smaller banner, or if they don't use a banner at all, it will reduce scrolling, the need to scroll, and that the person will be more likely to see their products first and therefore more likely to buy. But that's not quite how it works, because ultimately that huge banner is the largest piece of real estate that you have the ability to brand however you want. And now we have carousel banners. So tell me this, how many times have you been to we'll say a really, really like upscale website? For example, I know that really fancy jewelry, really expensive high-end products. I know that some handbags have really, big banners right when you enter the site. How many times have you entered a site like that and it's really high end and it looks very established and there's a big, beautiful image that covers most of your screen that displays maybe a product or the branding? How many times do you click on a site like that and you say, oh, I don't see the listings to buy the products, I'm just going to click off of it? Like, are you ever really impulsed to do that? Now, there is this thing called above the fold. And there are many ways that you can apply, above the fold tactics where you want to have things like a call to action above the fold. However, when that scroll length is very minimal and you have this wonderful opportunity to, sacrifice a bit of, I guess, you're sacrificing a little bit of that space where the person isn't just immediately seeing those products, but what they're seeing is your very established branding. And that allows you to stick out in their mind, because ultimately you want to build that brand recognition where they're seeing you over and over and over again. And you reinforce that through your banner, through your shop photo, through your packaging, through all of your social media. For example, and I know that we use this a lot, but with Tiffany & Co., you constantly see that beautiful Tiffany blue branding and that white ribbon and everything that they do, all of their marketing, all of their, all of their packaging, their storefronts, even around the holidays, they stay consistent to that branding. And that banner is a massive opportunity that you have, that Etsy provides us with, to establish that branding on your own. And I would even dare to say that if you have the Etsy Plus package, which you need to have that in order to use the scroll banners. And personally, I don't feel like the Etsy Plus package is quite worth the price unless you're, one of those sellers who is making quite a bit of money. But when you have quite a bit of traffic coming to your shop and you know that you have decent conversion rates and you're making consistent sales, and that Etsy Plus package isn't that much of a sacrifice to you, I think that it's worth it to have that established branding and have that extra for those carousel banners, because there's so many ways that you can use them. I actually just added a second slider and started using the carousel banner. So I've got my main one and it's got my holiday shipping deadlines on it. And it says, that I'm a 5-star seller. For anybody who's never seen my storefront, you can find it linked all the way down at the bottom when you click show more below this video. But I think that for me personally, it's worth it just to have that extra page, because now I'm able to announce my next product launch and throw in my email list. I mean, you could use it to restate your holiday shipping deadlines. You can announce new collections that are coming. You can show off maybe best sellers of the holiday season and use one of those sliders to show people, like, this is what most of my customers are buying. And that's going to kind of reinforce that social proof. You could even put some reviews on it. So there's a lot of branding capabilities, but that is one of the main things that really irk me. And one of the big mistakes that I see Etsy sellers making is not using and utilizing these amazing tools and establishing that branding with these tools that Etsy has provided to us. So let's see. Hanging out in negative forums. Ooh, Linda Sue, that's a good one. That's not even one that I would have thought to mention, but that's another big mistake that I see Etsy sellers making, is hanging out in the Etsy forums and almost spending more time in those forums than they are actually working on their shops. And obviously, I have the Handmade Alpha Facebook community, and you guys spend a lot of time in there. But what I've noticed is that the people that are in our close-knit community, they're all on the same path. You guys are all walking the same path. And since we're all kind of following my trainings and my teachings, we're all walking in the same positive direction and helping each other to reach those same goals. But when we look at the Etsy forums, what we see is a lot of bickering and arguing and contrasting opinions and conspiracy that just isn't true, you know? So getting caught up in those really negative Etsy forums, I mean, not to mention, people in the Etsy forums are not very nice. I've noticed a lot of sellers.
It's like that pretty much any forum.
That's true. That's very true.
When people have free reign to just say whatever they want with not a lot of policing, things get negative pretty quick.
And things in the Handmade Alpha Facebook community don't really ever get negative. And when they do, we always have alphas in there reporting it. If you ever, just as a heads up, if you do ever experience anything negative, just send it, just report the post. No one will be able to see that you've reported a post or a comment, and I or Mr. Moore or Lissa, one of our admins, or Dolly will look into it. But
squash that shiz.
Right. But don't get caught up in the Etsy forums. Most of the information in there, unless it's one of the Etsy like posts that they themselves have posted, and then I don't scroll down and read the comments.
Anything else, if it's not directly from Etsy, have a healthy amount of skepticism if you are going to read it.
Right. I mean, or just post it in the Handmade Alpha Facebook community and ask the other alphas, like, what do you think of this? A seller just said this, because a lot of what I've noticed in those forums is just conspiracy.
Well, there's a lot of stuff in there that I've read through that you could literally just hop over to the seller's handbook and squash everything that they're saying right away.
Linda Sue said they need to take pride in their shops. If they don't do that, our products done with pride. That too. And that's another thing where I say to myself, if they didn't even take the time to properly establish their branding, or maybe all of their photos are blurry and crappy, I say to myself, wow, they didn't even take the time to edit these photos or make their photos look nice or make their banner look good or take these photos, you know, at a decent resolution. So I, as the shopper, can see this, you know, window into what this product is. If they didn't even take the time to do that, how do I know that their products, you know, were created with quality? How do I know that they're putting time into their actual products? And some sellers do. They put all the time into their products and no time into their branding or their photos. And they assume that because their products are great, that those products will sell regardless of the fact that their photos, you know, are bad. And that's just not true. Because when it comes to perception, when you see product photos that aren't good, we automatically assume that the product itself isn't good. And in Handmade Alpha Academy, I know that we have a few students in there that thought that this was the funniest thing ever. You guys will immediately know what I'm talking about. But I was talking about product photos and how you can make anything look designer and upscale by taking professional photos of it. And in Handmade Alpha Academy, I did a photo shoot of a Cheez-It, and I made the most professional, beautiful Cheez-It like listing photo that you've ever seen. And I made it look so upscale, but it was just a Cheez-It. And I did like a side-by-side of if you would have just snapped the picture like on your desk, and it looked really gross. But that is one of those things that also a lot of sellers, they just don't think about. They think, wow, I put all my time into the products, but meh, I don't need to learn how to do the marketing or the photos. I don't need to learn how to do that. I have a great product, and that's all that matters. And that would apply if you were selling in like a storefront, because people could pick it up. It's a tangible item at that point, but you have to take that tangible, or that, you know, that tangible item, photograph it and put it on the internet. And from that point on, you're taking away that person's ability to really look at it at all angles. That's another big mistake that kind of stacks onto that one, is not taking multiple photos of your product or only having one photo. And I hate that when I'm looking at a product and there's only one photo of it, but I want to see all sides of it. I'm like, what does the side of this look like? You know, what's the back of it look like? If I'm looking at a handbag, I want to know, what does the inside of the handbag look like? What does the fabric on the inside of the handbag look like? If I'm looking at a pillow, I'm wondering, is the back pattern the same as the front pattern? I want to know what's on the front and the back. So there's so many things that you can do to fill up those 10 photo slots. And even if you don't have all 10, I do at least recommend having a minimum of 5, which was our original number for those like Etsy OG sellers who have been here forever. We used to only get 5. Newbie sellers are really lucky because you started out with 10, so you've kind of got it in that mindset. But I know that a lot of sellers, even when it was 5 photos, they struggled to fill all those spaces. So at least 5, and take photos from all different angles. Take close-up so you can see the texture, especially if you're doing something fabric. You want to see up close every single aspect. You can do it. Oh, there's Linda. Hold on, Linda. I see that you're joining. Oh, wait. She's coming. I see that she's here, but I don't hear her.
You can't?
I can't see you, but I can hear you now.
You can hear me now? Okay, good.
I can't see you, though.
No?
You might have to...
Oh, there she goes.
There she is! Yay! She made it. Only
that was a nightmare.
That's okay. I filled in the blanks. I listed lots more Etsy mistakes. So they got bonus mistakes. We talked about people who don't utilize their banners for branding. We talked about people who don't fill all 10 photo slots. We talked about people who who take blurry photos of their products. So yeah. We had some fun. They got bonus tips today. But today, guys, we're going to be talking to Linda. And Linda's going to tell us all about her business. And then she's going to tell us 3 of the biggest Etsy mistakes that she notices sellers making. And the thing about Linda that you have to know is that her target customer is Etsy sellers, which is why we invited her on today. She's not targeting, a different, you guys are her target customer, if that makes sense. Etsy sellers, because she creates different packaging aspects and branding aspects and stickers. And you can find her shops actually linked down below. But she creates products for Etsy sellers, which is why this is such a really great opportunity for you guys. So Linda, let's talk about your businesses. What are your 2 shops called, and what do you do in each of those?
Okay, thank you. You guys can hear me, right?
Yes, we can hear and see you.
Because I can hear an echo. But I have my earbuds in.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So what I do is I have 2 shops. One is Madison Elizabeth Co., which is named after my now deceased dog. Oh, no. Yeah, she was Madison Elizabeth, Maddie. So anyways, and that's where I do custom labels, stickers, packaging, things like that. I really wanted a business that helps the handmade seller, because that's always something I've been really passionate about. And my other shop is called Linnie Store, Linnie Store. And that's because a prior business I had, where I actually had a brick and mortar store, was named Linnie Blooms. And I had designed and sold about 150 different products that were designed for artists and scrapbookers and stuff like that. So it's more of a physical product. So I've taken that, what I used to do in that business, over to Linnie Store, and it's really now a lot of DIY kits for kids. So
awesome. And all of her products in that store, I scrolled through yesterday when she and I were talking. Sorry, I'm all like tongue-tied today. and her products, I like that they're all blank, so you can do whatever you want with them. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's really about encouraging people to be creative and, make whatever they consider to be beautiful. So anyway, those are the 2 different Etsy shops I currently run.
And those are linked down below for anybody who wants to check those out after the session. You can click see more, and both of those links will be down below. So
thank you.
Of course. So Linda, do you want to tell everybody these 3 really nasty mistakes, because we discussed them and you had some very insightful opinions on these different mistakes that you frequently notice sellers doing. And right when I read what you sent me, I was like, oh yeah, that's nasty. I see sellers doing all of those things. So what's your first big mistake that you noticed Etsy sellers or even the Handmade Alpha community members doing wrong without even realizing it?
Okay, well, the very first thing that I noticed when I decided to get serious about selling on Etsy was communication. Oh my gosh. So I'm a big Etsy shopper too. So when I shop and I send somebody a question, I was finding that I wasn't hearing back from them for a day or two. That drives me insane. And I'm all about treat people the way you want to be treated, the golden rule, right? So to me, I always, if I'm awake, I respond to somebody, you know, even if it's not like, I mean, I can simply answer their question at least, even if I'm not able to design something new for them at that very moment, I can at least like acknowledge that I got their message. So I find that I have so many loyal customers because of that fact. I get comments like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you responded. Oh my God. They're like shocked that because, and many of them were telling me that they put in custom requests to other Etsy sellers and they just never hear back ever.
Right. And when they're shopping around and they're messaging multiple sellers and you're the first one to respond, who do you think that they're going to trust placing that order with? If your competitors take 2 to 3 days to respond and you're like right there ready to take their order, that is a huge advantage.
Right. Because in my opinion, they're in a buying mood and mindset when they are messaging you. And so a lot of my custom requests do come in the evening, you know, like usually right before I go to bed, all of a sudden I start getting messages like, oh, you know, and then they're like shocked that I respond right away and answer their question. But it's like I'm capturing them right away because I know if I were them and I was in that buying mood, I would keep going and looking for somebody else that was going to answer my question. So that communication is huge. And the other thing is constantly thanking them, constantly just being responsive. And if you can't get to something right away, tell them. You know, I mean, I spent 12 hours yesterday working with one customer because she had so many different labels she wanted designed. But like I had to tell her this morning so that we could finish up the order that I had appointments this morning and I wasn't going to be able to until after 11. And she was totally fine with that because again, you're communicating, just keep them informed. So communication's huge and majority of Etsy sellers don't do that.
That's so awesome. And you guys, I'm going to be working on, and I know that everyone's like, when is it going to be ready? I've been working on a lot, guys, like a lot. You don't even want to see my calendar right now, but I'm going to be updating the SSAR swipe series, which is a series of messages that you can send your customers throughout the order process. Because when people place an order, they very seldom get a response from the seller that confirms that the order was placed or that it was received. And yes, they get the automatic message from Etsy, which is great, but that doesn't give you the chance to communicate with that customer. They're not having a personal or making a personal connection with you or your brand or your personal branding as a human being. They're making a connection with Etsy. It's like, oh, thanks, Etsy, but you're not Etsy. You are your own entity. And it's really, really great when you place that order and the seller personally messages you and says, thanks. You know, you can expect your order to ship on this day. I really appreciate your business. I'm going to keep you updated every step of the way. That is so powerful. So I'll be creating a training to go with those swipe files, and they will be free. And I'm hoping to have those done in January for you guys.
Yeah, I can't recommend Starla's swipe files enough. I mean, they're awesome. They're a great way for you to, it's just another tool to keep you on top of everything that you have going on.
Right. And then they save so much time because it's just you just copy it and you paste it and there it is. So super duper easy.
Yep.
There are absolutely no excuses not to communicate with those customers. And that's one of the primary reasons that I was able to build my Etsy shop to the point that I have. So Linda, we've talked about communication. So that's like big mistake number one, not communicating with your customers or taking, you know, way too long to communicate with potential customers. What is mistake number two that you notice sellers making?
Packaging.
Oh, yes.
And again, because I'm a big Etsy shopper, I really pay close attention to when I purchase something and I get it in the mail, and I can't stress enough, it's not about how much money you put into it, okay? It's making it look pretty. When I should have had it here. Well, I had purchased this really nice custom bracelet for a gift for somebody. And I was, you know, it's a beautiful piece, but when I received it, it was in this cheap, looks like made in China plastic bag.
Oh no.
And it just lessens the value of the piece. And now I'm going to have to do my own special packaging in order to gift this item that I purchased. So this is just like an example for me to say, you know, no matter what you do, I mean, like, yeah, have your special labels, have your business card, have a little coupon, have the, you know, like Starla has taught in a lot of her trainings too, as far as, you know, you can use just branded color tissue paper to,
and that's all I do.
Yeah, and some nice little ribbon or whatever. But when I receive something, I once received one piece like that where it came, the person charged me like $3 for shipping, which is totally reasonable, I think. But when I got it, it was in a small white envelope, handwritten with one stamp on it. And it was like, no padding, no nothing. And I mean, come on now, how are you going to get more sales? You know, when you're not like dressing it up at all.
Right. And that's a thing that a lot of sellers don't realize is that when you actually package your products, that packaging becomes a part of the value of the product, and it actually increases the perceived value of the item. So for example, like Linda was saying about the bracelet that she received, it was just in a little plastic bag. But imagine if it came in like we'll say like a black gift box with, you know, a velvet lining, or even just wrapped in some black branded tissue paper with a sticker with the business name on it. I mean, that just, it creates a completely different experience. And that all plays in to who you are as a brand. You could have the best product in the entire world, but every single little thing, your photos, your communication, your packaging, your branding, that all plays together. And you can't ignore one of these little things. It's like your health. You could say, well, you know, I'm really physically fit and I run every morning, but then I go home and I drink, you know, a bottle of whiskey every night. You can't just be healthy in one area. You got to be healthy in all areas. And that's the same as your business. Your business has to be healthy in all areas. And you can't just neglect one little aspect just because you don't like doing it, or maybe you're not good at it. It's one of those things where, yeah, you might not be good at it, but there's someone out there who is good at it, and they're going to take those sales away from you.
Well,
yeah.
That's the whole point, is that you have to 10 up, you know. So that's why I'm saying is that I look really closely at what those current sellers are doing, and it's not that difficult to 10 up. And one other example I wanted to give you that I thought of when you were describing a good way of packaging is this past summer, my 12-year-old niece was over, and I gave her my old jewelry supplies. And so she was getting into making her own little jewelry. And so I was getting her set up with her own little Etsy shop. And she took just some adorable fabric that she would put her necklaces in, and she would just fold it really nice, and they have a really nice ribbon. And I thought, you know, for a 12-year-old to figure out how to beautify packaging, I thought that was awesome. And it's like, yes, that's more than what a lot of other sellers are doing.
The 12-year-old is going to steal everyone's business.
Right. Yeah. So of course, you know, I had to make her labels right away.
That's amazing. That is so cool. She's like destined to be a little entrepreneur.
That's right.
Awesome.
So,
that is a huge one, guys. Packaging all plays into the value of your products. And for those who are thinking about joining Handmade Alpha Academy in December, I have an entire packaging lesson, and we actually have like a recommended suppliers guide where you can go through and see some of the packaging suppliers that I recommend if you're not sure how to increase the value of your products. You know, that's just kind of a little shortcut that I created for you guys. Linda, have you seen that in HAA, that supplier's guide? It's just typed up like on a normal Word document.
I know, it's awesome though, because that's exactly what you need. And being part of HAA has helped so much, because it's by far my number one favorite hangout, you know, is to be in the private group that we have, because you're with fellow sellers that totally get it. You know, we all share, but I've gotten the most value out of your course, and I have taken a zillion online courses, but I have gotten more out of your course than anyone else's. So
Aww.
I thank you.
That's awesome. And Linda is not a paid affiliate. And I'm not slipping her like $20 bills under the table, I swear. So guys, let's go ahead and move on to number 3. And then after our third big mistake, you guys are free to unleash and ask Linda some questions. You can ask her questions about her shop. You can ask her questions pertaining to these topics. You can ask her student perspective questions about Handmade Alpha Academy if you do so desire. But we're going to open the floor to questions right when we finish up here. So we've talked about communicating. We've talked about packaging and not neglecting that very important and crucial aspect of your business and your branding and your perception. What is our last big mistake for our sellers to avoid?
Well, I'll say the newbie seller especially, they feel, you know, 9 times out of 10, you're getting started with no money, okay? Because you want to sell your stuff because you want to make money, but you don't currently have money. Well, their big mistake is that they think they can't afford to have a branded identity. And that is a big mistake, because people are never going to know then if they did purchase your product, you know, by chance, they're not going to know to ever come back to you. And I'm sorry, but repeat customers are golden. You know, you want those, you know,
right. 80% of your sales coming from 20% of your market. I say that so much, guys, and it's true. 80% of your sales should come from 20% of your customers. Those repeat customers are essential to your success.
If you're not getting the 80%, then you need to reevaluate what you're doing, because people should always want to come back to you.
Right.
So anyways, but with branding, it doesn't have to cost a fortune. And this is my example. I am, because of my focus on helping the handmade business owner, I don't really charge for my custom design work. Well, somebody contacts me and they go, well, I need labels and I need my company name on it, and I don't have a logo. And, you know, yes, I have a standard custom logo listing that says, you know, it'll be $55 and I'll, you know, design it for you and give you all the files or whatever. But that's really not what I sell as much, because the beginner can't afford to get started, you know, and just drop $55 on hope and a prayer because it's something they haven't even seen yet. So what a lot of mine do is I mean, you can buy one sheet of labels from me for as low as $4.50. And I will design that logo for you. And I work with them until they are madly in love with it. And it's really a collaboration of figuring out, you know, what they want it to look like and things like that. I do this a lot. I have not the small business owner is not just selling jewelry. I have so many people that are bakers and they make their own oils and all these other different industries. It's fascinating. And what they do though, a lot of them start out where they'll just get the labels and have me design their logo for them. And then later, as they're starting to make more money, first of all, they keep coming back for more labels. Second of all, they finally go, well, yeah, now there's some other bigger items that you don't sell that I want to have my logo on. So now I'm going to pay to get that actual file from you and everything. So there are inexpensive ways to make sure that you are branding all of your products.
Right.
That's huge.
And even just having a consistent color theme is so important for that overall brand recognition.
Yes.
And I'm very guilty of not doing that. When I first started my business, my first business cards were hideous. They were just like rainbow, just unicorn vomit. And you could see kind of like my keys sprinkled into the branding, but I didn't have a color theme. And then I said to myself, you know what? I'm trying to really push this upscale, you know, designer product. My keys, I put so much time and effort into them. I'm just going to make my branding black and white. I just want it to be black and white. That way the keys can stand on their own. And what ultimately ended up happening was I started receiving way more like high-end product orders. And now it's to the point where you don't see high-end products in my shop because they all sell out the second that I list them. And the fact that I was able to position my branding around those high-end products has created just this raving environment. So there's so much that you can do. Just, you know, you start with colors. That's usually the first step. Start with your colors. Think about the feelings that you want your customers to feel when they enter your shop. And I'm actually doing a lot of research right now into how branding and brands and the essence of a brand take up a space inside a consumer's head. Because ultimately, once you have a product that you are connected to, it's really hard to let go of that product and move to another one. For example, everybody has a specific laundry detergent that they buy, and you probably very seldom switch detergents, right? You've got your one like ride or die detergent that you buy every single time you go to the store. And that brand occupies a space in your brain, and it actually becomes a part of your neurological makeup. So it's really interesting. And I'm sure that as soon as I do a little bit more research, we will have some bonuses added into HAA at some point. I'm personally doing a lot of research into the neuroscience of brands. But again, that is just so huge, guys. Linda is amazing for creating, products and just so willingly helping new sellers. So for those who need some branding, who need, a logo, and you don't have an arm and a leg to spend on it, but you want something to go on your packaging, be sure to check out her shops, both linked down below. So Linda, are you cool to take some questions? How much time do you have?
I'm good.
You're good?
I did want to say one other thing is
Sure.
I believe that like when you were saying about choosing the black and white, making that choice and narrowing it down, you're really saving money in the long run than dabbling with all the different colors and stuff like that. And it takes some stress off of you that, okay, made that decision. That's all I have to focus on.
Right. And I remember when I first started out, one of my big things was trying to decide what color bubble wrap to buy. Because, if you look at in the stores, they've got like red bubble wrap now and purple bubble wrap. And every single time I would buy a different color and I would have to think, well, what's the next holiday? Okay, well, it's almost Christmas. I need the red bubble wrap. Okay, Halloween. Let's see. Well, look, they've got orange. I'll get the orange bubble wrap. And now I just get clear because anything else would really be a disservice to my overall branding. And it all comes together so nicely. Now that I just know exactly what I need to buy, I don't have to
Yep.
go to the store and try to waste time picking. I know what I need and I can just go grab it. So that's
Yep.
perfect. That's awesome. All right, let's see. You guys are free to go ahead. Oh, Beverly says I'm ordering from her now. That's awesome. Beverly, I am going to take Linda. She can't respond to you immediately when you place your order because I'm borrowing her, but I promise that she will get back to you as soon as we're finished.
I will.
You guys are free to go ahead and start typing some questions into the comments. If you asked a question during the stream and we missed it, feel free to copy it or retype it. That way we don't have to scroll through the millions of comments that we've received. Linda, in the meantime, what's been your experience with the Handmade Alpha Academy? Because this is the first time that we've ever gotten to talk like face to face. And I know that you're one of our most active community members. And Lori is in the comments going, HAA is insane. Best purchase ever. What is your opinion on HAA? What's your experience been for those who are kind of debating whether this is for them?
Oh, I have actually had an Etsy account since 2009. And over those years, I would occasionally go in there, sell a couple things, and then bop back out. I really just didn't understand all of it. And about maybe 3 years ago, I followed somebody who claimed to know everything there was about setting up your tags right and, getting all these great sales. And I found that not to be so. So I kind of was giving up on Etsy. And then until I found you, and I'll tell you, HAA has been just the best. I seriously can't say enough good things about it, as far as if you're serious about getting your Etsy shop producing for you, you just need to follow along with taking Starla's course, because like I said, it is my #1 hangout. Let's see, when did we start? This whole year has been crazy, because I think I started my shop in March. And then when did you open up HAA?
We officially opened it in June. So you would have enrolled in June. Did you enroll with me or did you enroll with Renee?
Through you, I believe.
Okay, then June.
Yeah.
You would have been our June batch. So that's awesome.
I started my shop in March and then joined HAA, and it has just been, it's wonderful. I mean, yes, life is crazy. I'm still juggling everything like every seller does. But I have learned so much, and it has given me a lot of confidence as far as being a seller. And I feel like, there's always more to know, but there is no other expert on Etsy than Starla. Aww. And she puts so much she educates herself so much before she ever presents something to you. And that's huge. That's really huge.
And I always tell this really cool story. I think, who did I hear this from? I think I heard it in a Kerwin Ray podcast, because I really like Kerwin Ray. But he told this story about Gandhi, where he said that a woman took her son to go see Gandhi because she wanted her son to stop eating sugar. And she took her son all the way to see Gandhi. And Gandhi said, well, come back in a week. And she's like, okay, why couldn't you just talk to him now? So she goes back into the village with her son and she waits for a week. And then she brings her son back up a week later. And she says, okay, I'm back. And Gandhi looks at the boy and he says, son, stop eating sugar. She's like, why couldn't you just tell him that a week ago? And Gandhi said, because a week ago I was eating sugar. So it's one of those things where you have to learn to do it yourself before you teach it. And that's one thing that I've always found to be very important. I don't like to learn from someone else and just take their words and, rehash it. I want to be the one to make sure that I'm testing it myself. So we've got quite a few questions now. Are you ready, Linda?
Yes.
All right, let's do this. G. Morgan said that, let's see, using priority mail cardboard envelopes to get there fast because boxes inside smash, which, yeah, they totally do. I use organza bags. Is that good enough?
Organza are good. Yes,
Yeah,
definitely. I mean, you're
branding
beautifying it. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
And that's better than nothing because, you know, I mean, there's so much that you can do with that. Just pick a bag that complements your branding color, maybe put your business card in there, just make it an
Yep.
experience. So totally. Let's see. Oh, wow. Okay. Robin asked, are the swipe files currently available somewhere? Guys, I'm reworking the swipe files and creating a training for them. So you're not going to be able to find them until I finish that. I should have it done in January. Ginger asked, how would you start to figure out your branding? That's a good question. Like you're just brand new. How do you start? Where is your first destination?
Well, a couple things you have to think about right away is your customer. Who are you trying to attract? And what kind of image are you trying to portray? And those should be working together. So you're going to start with answering those questions, and then from there, determining colors. But you know what? If you go into Starla's HAA, she's going to be covering some of that and psychology, and you're going to get a lot more in depth. But those are some of the starting points for you, definitely.
Absolutely. And I mean, just start somewhere. Like even if you
Right.
tweak your branding later, just start somewhere, you know?
Right.
Let's see. I've been using a general logo from Vistaprint. So I'm assuming, you know, one of their pre-made designs. However, I really felt like I need one that's personal to my shop. Is it a good idea to change the logo to something that can't easily be duplicated? So she's using a design that could be purchased by anyone for her brand right now.
Again, it depends on what you're trying to accomplish, what the image is that you're trying to get across. It took me quite a while. When I started in March, my logos looked totally different because I took online courses. You know, Starla's course is a good example. That taught me more. So as I learned more, I tweaked my logo and changed it up. I actually went through a business name change as well, because Madison Elizabeth Co. used to be, what was it? Oh, Pretty something. Oh, Linda's Pretties. And
oh yeah.
So, remember that? And so
because I knew you through Renee before, you know, I knew you from the alphas. So I do remember that.
Yeah. And I found out from asking my peers that Linda's Pretties sounded creepy. Some people said like, oh, is it like you're the little witch? Like,
my
come here, my little pretties. So because of that, and I thought, oh my gosh, I'm looking for something more upscale, and I want to be showing that I provide quality, you know. So I went through a big change. So yeah, go ahead, and you're gonna, as you grow, you do change things. Now I'm set. Now I don't feel like I'm going to be changing it, but I did have to go through that a couple months ago, and I'm really glad I did, though, because as my, you know, business is growing and I'm getting more consistent out there with my new branding, I think it's going to stick, and I think that it speaks more so to the clientele that I want to attract.
Right. In HAA, we call that being sticky. Sticky. Let's see. Lisa asked, oh, this is a good question. And I think you already know my opinion on it. So I'll let you go ahead and answer. I had a custom order come in, and the client wanted me to buy all of the supplies and create an item before she wanted to purchase it. What is your policy when doing custom orders?
Oh, you know, this happens all the time, but even though I'm very generous with my time, I am getting better now that I tell the people, the new customer, the new potential customer up front, that I am more than happy to work on their design with them until they absolutely love it. But I first need them to place their order so that we have a starting point.
Time.
Right, because I could spend hours designing something and never get anything out of it. I will say I've done that once or twice, but let me tell you, I was always kicking myself. I didn't feel comfortable. I had this nagging, untrusting feeling, and that's not a good way to feel, and that's not the type of relationship. You know, I have to give a little trust. They have to give a little trust. And I think my prices are reasonable enough that they shouldn't have a problem, even if they just want to do a little starter, you know, small order. But in the end, they always come back for a lot more. So.
Right. And that's another big thing, like for those who create, we'll say more expensive high-end products where, like I do, where there's actually, it would be a real problem if they ran off on you and didn't end up paying. I require them to pay up front at least a minimum of 50%, because right when they place that order, I go with the money that they paid and get their supplies. And I let them know I will work with you to, you know, ensure that you're happy. And just a disclaimer, I don't take custom orders anymore because they take up so much time. But I would tell them, I will work with you until you're happy, but I have to be able to cover the cost of the supplies, because if you bail on me, I'm stuck with supplies that nobody else may want. You know, nobody else might want whatever weird theme that you wanted on this product. So that's huge. Yeah, there have been some really weird
sometimes.
Oh yeah, we don't take those weird orders. Ginger mentioned, I want to take Starla's course, but have no money, trying to do all I can on her free stuff. Guys, if you don't have the money to enroll in HAA, don't sell your assets to enroll. We turned down somebody last year who was trying to sell their vehicles to enroll. Do not sell your assets to enroll in my course. We
won't let you in.
We will not let you in if you're not paying your rent, or if
That's
you're doing
a risky financial decision we don't want to be responsible for.
We don't want you to put yourself in that position. The reason we create free content is so that you have the freedom of choice to pursue whatever form of education or higher education that you choose to when you're able to. And that doesn't even need to be me. That could be Renee Christine. That could be going to college if you've never had the ability to do so. That could be, you know, investing that money into a library of books to help you. I am not so snobby as to say that since I created all these free trainings for you, you have to take my course. Seek education. Seek higher education somewhere.
Spend $10 on a book.
Right. It doesn't need to be from me though, but just don't stop.
We got a whole list of books that'll help you in your business in the group for free.
Yeah.
Just check them out.
Go to the library.
Yes.
Yeah, go to the library.
Yeah, libraries are free. I spent a lot of time there when he was in tech school in Texas. We had a library on our base, and I spent a whole lot of time there. So don't stress out. But if you have been saving, that's why I keep letting you guys know when it is, so you have plenty of time. Like, it is coming December 1st. So let's see. Jess Ware said, oh, wow, I remember Linda's pretties. That's so funny. Let's see. Jenny Lynn, who is also a Handmade Alpha Academy student, said, I did Starla Moore's free trainings for 2 years and got a lot out of it because she started with the free training. So that's always anything that you can get, guys. Like, do as much as you can. Just start somewhere. Don't just sit there expecting like sales to pour into your shop if you're not also taking the time to educate yourself on other things. So let's see.
A lot of people saying they've gotten stuck with unpaid custom orders. Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Somebody made a $75 ruby and emerald bracelet for a friend, and they decided not to buy it.
Ooh.
Barbara, is there a part of HAA you encountered that was a challenge to complete? I mean, something that comprehensive is not going to come without hiccups.
Well, I think she's asking Linda personally.
Oh, Linda. I thought you were talking about development.
No, Linda, was or is there a part of Handmade Alpha Academy that you encountered that was a challenge for you personally to complete? Ooh, I'm excited to hear the answer to this. I want to know.
It's been a while now since I even was in those modules. It must have not been that difficult then if I actually made through, but I will say that I did watch the videos more than once. You know, you watch them once to get a feel, then you go back and you actually do the work and apply it to your shop.
That's what most alphas do. They do a watch through, like an initial watch through, which usually takes them about a month to watch through it. And they take their notes and then they take action that second time around. And that's when they start seeing like the magic happen.
Yeah. And actually the way I did it is I would like do a module, you know, watch a module. Then I would go back and I would work that module. And, you know, so and then I'd go to the next module. So I didn't like go all, you know, that would just be too much. And it's totally worth it as far as everything that I've learned. And I can't, the reason that I speak so highly of it is not just because they have me on, but because I really, truly, in the past 10 years, have taken so many online courses that made unrealistic promises, and I did apply what they suggested, and it just fell flat. So Starla's doesn't make empty promises. She doesn't say that you don't have to do the work. She's just showing you the educated, what she has seen in her experience to actually work. And she's giving you the science behind things. And it's just so intelligent that it blows my mind that she is as young as she is and she knows so much. So I appreciate that she actually takes it to the point of sharing it with others, because that's kind of what I'm all about too, is sharing. I think, I mean, I'm always the biggest cheerleader for others.
Awesome.
So,
oh, you're so, once again, Linda's not a paid affiliate. She's speaking so highly. I'm like blushing. Daisy Chain asked, how long will I have to wait if I can't join HAA in December?
At least 6 months.
No. Spring. June?
We almost
June,
always
yeah.
do June and December. So
Okay, June. Well, this is our first time, so not almost always, but that's,
yeah, you know what I mean.
We planned for June since that's when we open. So
we do get a lot of questions on why we don't keep it open, and the main reason is we don't want to get stuck with having the course open, a bunch of people enrolling in a certain period of time, and then Etsy making a bunch of changes. If we only do it a couple times a year, that gives us an opportunity to make sure that the material stays up to date. Like selling in December, there's no way Etsy's going to drop a huge update in the middle of December. It's not going to happen. It's not going to hurt us. It's not going to hurt you guys. You guys aren't going to feel upset that you bought the course and then Etsy went and dropped something that we have to change 5 modules. So we have to release it in periods to make sure that we stay up to date. We make sure that our website can handle the amount of traffic, because you never know how many people are going to join. It could be 50 people. It could be 1,000 people. And you have to make sure that your website can handle that kind of traffic. So,
we look at the tech side of things, not to
Yeah.
mention I want to spend personal time with everybody who enrolls. So
Exactly.
well, that's the
More
other thing
personal.
though, Starla, that we need to tell them is that Starla is in the private group all the time. She's so accessible for you to ask direct questions to. That other people don't do that. Majority, I should say, don't do that with online courses. So she really is your personal business coach. I love that.
And they get my private email address if they ever need like personal help. They get like my private email and his private email, not the public Starla at Handmade Alpha Academy email. I have a secret one that nobody else can know, because then they would attack me all day. Jesse wants to know, hi Linda, if I need a logo /branding /banner, which package should we order on or in your shop?
Yeah, there is a package on there that is for Etsy startups, and that's the one that you would be looking at.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Lori had, that's a good, some good feedback. She said the start of HAA is the hardest when you're basically narrowing down your business and your focus and your target market and product focus, hard questions and hard work and tremendous results. And that's the main place that most people get really stumped, is when they're doing the target market exercises and creating their dream customer. So that is some really good feedback. All right, let's see. Oh, wow. Sherry. Oh, yeah. I am in Handmade Titan University. Should I still enroll in your program? Linda, are you in HTU too?
Yes.
Linda,
Yes.
why don't you give feedback on the differences? Because people ask me all the time what the difference between HAA and HTU is. What's your opinion? Because we have a lot of Handmade Titan University students in HAA, and we know that they're totally different things, but nobody else knows why they're different. So do you want to give your feedback?
Yeah, they are totally different. Because I'm in Handmade Titans, and luckily that's how I found out about Starla to begin with. And Starla's training is really 100% Etsy based. Okay, she is the expert on Etsy, all things Etsy. I have never met anyone else that really is that focused on it. And that is critical when you have an Etsy shop. And I've had other websites in the past, but right now I am only focusing on my 2 Etsy shops because I want to really build my audience there before I move on to adding a personal website. And so that's the big difference, I think. And they have both, Renee and Starla have the same opinions about the industry that they're working in, and all of that, the branding and everything. Everything's very complementary between the two, so you're not going to hear conflicting things. But if you want to go really in depth on dominating Etsy, then you're definitely going to want to go with Starla and go through her course and follow exactly what she teaches.
And not to mention, we have like a super duper, a lot of the things that I teach aren't public anywhere because I created them. So for example, like our SEO formula, you can't find that anywhere. And I even tell our alphas, I'm like, okay, guys, if a lot of people find out about this really cool formula and it leaks, then everyone will use it, and then Etsy will change the algorithm, because that's what they do. The more people that know how to dominate something on Etsy when it comes to like their search algorithms, the quicker that they change it. So it's one of those like top secret, awesome protected secrets within HAA that I invented that you will not find anywhere else. So
yep.
Let's see. I'm still working on my 10-piece collection, and it won't be ready before the holiday rush. Are you able to recommend a good time to open a shop after the holidays? What's your opinion, Linda? I've got my own, but what's yours?
I think any time is a good time. I mean, I'm really it's not going to be your first launch. You're going to have many. So it's just get started,
Right. And it's not going to make or break you.
Right.
A lot of people have messaged us and asked, would it be a good idea to launch my shop for Black Friday and immediately put everything on discount? And that's one thing that I say, I'm like, oh, like Black Friday is great. Yeah. That's the one time of year when you should offer discounts, but don't open on Black Friday and because you're setting the bar. You're setting what we call the anchor. And when you give the anchor and they immediately see those low prices, and then you change them, people feel a little bit icky. So even if you launched on Black Friday or before Black Friday, that's fine. But I wouldn't like launch discounted, because that's
right.
That's icky.
Yeah.
Let's see. Do you see any more questions? I think I will be ready by Valentine's Day, but it's for a base collection, not something Valentine's Day specific. That's fine, guys. You don't have to make all of your collections themed for a holiday. I've got a few snowflake themed keys coming out on November 10th for my holiday collection. My pre-launch is November 10th, but I'm not like making a bunch of Christmas tree keys and things. I'm keeping gifting in mind. And with Valentine's Day, it doesn't need to be covered in hearts and, goofy, especially if that's not like the theme of your shop. Don't distract from your brand in order to cater to a holiday. That's kind of funky.
Right.
Linda thankfully has a cool shop where she can make things for other sellers and she can theme things for Christmas and holidays because she knows other sellers will buy them, you know, for those holidays. Do you have holiday themed items in your shop?
Yeah, I'm actually, before orders got really crazy beginning of this week, and that's what I was working on was holiday stickers and things like that, because yeah, it's going to be really big, and tags, and I have some Christmas cards are already out there from some of my original designs, but yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And GFT Woodcraft said, what's the shop for branding? Linda's shops are both linked down below. You're going to be looking for the Madison Elizabeth Co. shop. That's the one where she has the packaging and the branding elements. Let's see. Where do I find the price for HAA? We have not released the price. Most people kind of know what it is. So here's the thing, guys. Join the Handmade Alpha VIP list if you're not a member already. I can't officially say the price because we have a big discount coming, and it's so big that I can't even, it's like one of those things where on Black Friday where it says like, click to see the discounted price. It's one of those insane discounts, and alphas who enrolled this year, they can verify that it was a really big discount.
That's
Linda's
awesome.
like, yeah. So
it.
join the VIP list or else you won't get that big discount. That's all I can say.
When
It's really big.
HAA live?
It will be opening on December 1st. Sonora K said, no such thing as a failed launch if you learn something from it.
Yep.
That is
so true.
That is amazing. My shop is sort of in progress, and I'm hoping to raise my prices on a few items. Best way to do this?
Just do it.
Just do it. Yeah.
Just do it.
Rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, it's not like you're going to be making a huge announcement. Hey, guess what? I hired my, raised my prices. You're not going to do that. Just go in your shop and make the adjustments. It's, and monitor, see what happens. Watch what happens.
Yeah.
I had to make increase in prices months ago, and nobody noticed.
No one will notice.
So no.
And if you do have that really like raving following already and you're worried that people will notice, then you can do what I also recommend is if you know people will notice, just turn it into a celebration. Tell them, yay, because there's so much demand for my products and you've helped me to reach this amazing point in business. We have to increase our prices starting on this date. Thank you so much for helping me get to this point. Don't apologize. Don't frame it as a negative. Frame it as a positive. So people will perceive it as a positive. Vanessa asked, I'm considering offering a monthly subscription box /bag. Is that something I should launch on Black Friday or before Black Friday? I think, Linda.
I would not launch on Black Friday. I guess no. I bad. Yeah. I would definitely. You launch before or you launch after, but no, not on Black Friday. Black Friday is really dedicated to people trying to find the best price on everything. So you don't want to have to be offering your brand new item at a discounted price.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely. Launch before. And that's another thing is when people ask us, should I launch before Black Friday? I really want to hold a Black Friday sale, or should I launch on Black Friday? Launch it early and make a few full price sales, get some full price sales. If you still want to hold your discount, that's fine, but get some full price sales in before then.
Somebody asked if subscription boxes were allowed on Etsy.
So subscription boxes are considered a lottery, and there are a lot of weird legalities for certain countries. I think that Etsy only allows you to do a box if the person knows what will be in the box. It can't be a mystery product. You can't do like mystery boxes.
You can thank the video game community for that.
Oh yeah. So Bronwyn asks, I really want to redo my whole shop. Should I go gung ho with what I have through the holidays, then start over after the new year, or just lay low until I'm ready to start over? So should she lay low and start over, you know, after the holiday rush?
You really have to decide what kind of energy you have and time it's going to take you. You know, if you're getting consistent stream of orders now, you know, you could say, hey, I'm not gonna, you know, like for instance, I'm not gonna look into designing a website, you know, this year. There's no way. My focus is to dominate Etsy. So it really, that's a personal decision in how much time you have. I don't think there's any other. What do you think, Starla?
I think that it's best to look, I mean, just like Linda said, you have to look at your own life and say, you know, if I try to get this done, you know, and rush it out, is it going to be the best that it can be? And the answer to that is probably no. You're going to want to dedicate a lot of time and energy into it and research. And, you know, these things take time. You want to also make sure that you're in a financial situation where buying, you know, your new branding elements, if you need to purchase them, where that's going to be easy for you and where you're going to be able to take, you know, a step back and look at this for what it is rather than trying to get it all done as quickly as possible. So I would just wait until the first of the year and then make that like your goal to get it finished. Sandy asked, I still do one of a kind. Are you planning a school for us still? I am. Guys, online courses take a really
HAA took 2 years.
Really long time. And that's including the research. We didn't start it until like the alpha said, hey, you should make a course. But I took all the research that I had been doing, you know, just for my own shop and to make the YouTube channel. And I was like, how can I turn this into an actual program that someone's going to spend 1,000 hours inside of? So it does take a lot of time. Linda, Linda, you know how much content's in there. That took.
Oh yeah. She definitely, I can see why it would take at least 2 years. Definitely.
It took a lot.
Yeah.
And I don't have anybody to like edit or do anything for me. It's all just me. So it took a long time.
That's just it. It's not just even like dumping your brain down into something. It's all the technical aspects, you know, getting all that together. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. GFT Woodcraft, when for the discount email so I can be on the lookout?
When we send it.
It'll
soon.
Around December 1st. Just make sure that you guys open emails from me because a lot of people don't open my emails, and I can
We'll purge you.
We pay for all of our subscribers because we have so many, and if we notice that someone's not opening our emails, we'll get rid of you.
If it's been 6 months since you opened one, goodbye.
I teach in Handmade Alpha Academy how to do that, how to get rid of people who are weighing down your list so they don't cost you money. So please open my emails. And if you have been booted, you can just re-sign up. Let's see. Heather said, I learned something new each launch. That's awesome. Daisy Chain said, before Renee, I just threw out my products willy-nilly. Would it be possible / a good idea to relaunch them in some way? And how would I do that? I do have several items that fit together. So I think what she's asking is, she's already got products out. I mean, are they already in your shop? Because there's no reason to unless you take them down for a few months and then relaunch them.
You know, with my other shop, Linny Store, I really had to think long and hard because I had a lot of inventory left over from Linny Blooms that because I used to have my products manufactured by not one, but 2 different local manufacturing companies that hired the disabled. And so, you know, I had a lot of leftover inventory. So I had to look really hard and say, okay, what will make sense now with this new direction? So if you can take that stuff and you can, you know, put it into a nice collection that makes sense and actually fits your shop. That's why I have 2 different shops. I wanted one where I'm primarily working on the computer most of the day, doing, you know, custom design work, but I also had all this other inventory. So I wanted to have a different, more of a physical product that I could sell right away. Not that I had to spend hours making. So yeah, just make sure that it's cohesive and makes sense.
Right. And like I said, just make sure that you know, just take them down, give them enough time for people to kind of forget about them, and then relaunch them. It's like, wow, they're back. Yay. So Ginger asked, how do you finance your shop? How do you buy supplies when you have no money to spare to do your products?
A couple of general tips when it comes to this. And I noticed somebody said that they did a business loan. If you're going to do financing, you better be pretty damn sure that your business is going to make enough money to pay that back. You better be very confident and know what you're doing.
It takes on average 5 years for businesses, especially and Etsy shops, to actually turn a profit. And that's not just something to snark at. Those are industry statistics for any business. And I mean, there are a lot of businesses who are lucky enough to make enough money to, you know, before those first 5 years. There are plenty of Etsy shops who take off like that, but you still can't expect to be successful unless you have a little bit of wiggle room, because in the beginning, you do take a cut. You do have to buy supplies. You have to have startups. Every business has startups, you know?
And if you're going to be running your business to a point where you can sell the products and pay your bills, but you can't afford to get the supplies to continue your business, then you should have a job on the side, 100%, or be with somebody who can also support you and pay the bills. Because the money that's coming into your business, the majority of that should be going back into your business until you get to a point where it can, you know, it can be a source of income as well as supporting itself. It first and foremost needs to support itself.
Yeah, it took me 5 years because what I would ultimately do is I would launch my products, and I would take almost all of the money that I made within those first 5 years, and I would invest it back into buying even more supplies for the next launch and improving my business. And I would have, you know, a little bit of money here and there, but I would have like a $5,000 launch, and I would put most of the money back into my business. And that's the reality of owning a business. And just because we're selling on Etsy, you are not immune to the normalities and the customs and the expectations of how a business runs. You are a business. You have to have those business expectations.
And if you're new and you need to wait to launch your business, wait. Trust me, waiting a year or two and saving up the money that you need to actually get your business moving is going to be a lot better than ending up in debt, not being able to pay back a loan, end up having to go bankrupt and all that. Like, it's not worth that trouble. So if you're confident, go with a loan, but just be warned that like the majority of businesses go through at least one big failure.
Yeah.
And you don't want a financial one to be that.
Don't expect that your Etsy shop is going to be, you have to do it because you love it and you can see into the future. People start Etsy shops though, and they think like, okay, I need money now, so I'm going to put my crafts on the internet so I can make money right now. That's not how it works.
It's not
hopes high.
Yeah,
it's not a rummage sale.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Joe said, for the swipe files, I know that they're for the customer, not me. Do I send to all 4 if they don't respond to the first 2? I feel kind of like they may think it's obnoxious. Should I still send all 4? Yes. I only have people respond to my swipe files maybe like once a week. But what I see is in my reviews, people leave reviews and they're like, Starla was great. She communicated the whole time, kept me up to date, kept me informed. Nobody. And I mean, Alphas, let me know. Have you ever had anybody get mad at you for sending them updates using my swipe files? For those who have it, for those who don't, they're coming. Linda, have you ever had anyone get mad at you for messaging them about their order?
No.
No, people are thrilled. And if they're not responding, it's fine. They don't, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Just keep them updated. Let's see. Should I sell at my Black Friday prices at a Black Friday craft fair? What do you think, Linda?
What was the question?
She's taking her products to a Black Friday craft fair, and she wants to know if she should offer her Black Friday prices.
That's different.
A Black Friday craft fair. I want to go.
Yeah, I do too.
That's going to be busy.
I would say, you know, think about it like this. there's a big difference between shopping online where there's a gazillion competitors and shopping in a craft fair where you have a few select choices just among the vendors that are there. My suggestion would be to offer a little Black Friday discount, but you don't need to make it quite as extravagant as what you would do in your Etsy shop on Black Friday, simply because people on Etsy you are competing with every other person holding a sale, and there are millions of them. If you're at a craft fair and it's an enclosed event where there are only a select number of people who you're competing against, you don't need to offer prices that are going to literally like break your bank just, to be there. But you could totally offer like a little incentive, Let's see. Do we see? Oh, wow. We have a lot of comments. Okay.
Do you also have a sale on Cyber Monday?
The Red Poppy Company, Lori Reese. Do you also have a sale on Cyber Monday? What's your plan this year, Linda? What are you doing in your shop? Are you doing a Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Small Business Saturday?
I'm going to do Black Friday, and I'm going to take Starla's advice and see how the sales go for Black Friday, and keeping in mind too that I want to be available to all my customers that entire weekend and that. So I will decide on Cyber Monday when I get to that point.
Right. And that's, guys, if you need my Black Friday survival guide for those asking Black Friday questions, click see more down below. There is a link to get my Black Friday survival guide, and you'll also get my personal tactic on how to create a double dip sale. You'll get that video with that as well, and it's all free. So all you got to do is enter your name and email, and you will get that Black Friday survival guide, which gives you an exact checklist of everything that you should be doing day by day throughout November to prepare. And it also has a list of I think 30 different phrases, maybe more, 30. I think there's 30 phrases to use for your Black Friday marketing to get people hyped. And that is completely free. So go ahead, grab that down below, watch the video. It's extremely useful.
Really good.
Yeah, that is like all my secrets, all my super duper secrets. All right, we'll go ahead and do this very last question. AB is the username. AB, is it too early to start building hype for my Black Friday sale? So they want to know, like, is today too early to say I'm having a Black Friday sale?
Today is November 2nd, so anything after November 1st, start going for it.
Yeah, and that's what I keep telling everybody, that like everyone was like, "Oh, I'm not making sales in October." Like, that's because everybody's gearing up for Halloween, and everybody still has their bats and their pumpkins and their Halloween candy, and they're still eating Reese's cups. And then on November 1st, everyone's going to be putting up their Christmas trees and singing Christmas songs and ready to Christmas shop, and they're going to think, "Oh man, I need to start buying now. That way all of the good stuff isn't already taken." So right now is when things are gonna.
Big businesses have already started doing
pre-Black Friday
sales. Yeah, we just ordered some supplies for like 75% off, and I got musicians gear that I need to get for my show coming up in 2 weeks. If you want tickets, hit me up.
We're still trying to sell these tickets.
We've only got 9 left, so
9 tickets.
We're doing pretty good.
If you want to see Mark's band play
for like 15 minutes
in November. In Dayton, Ohio.
But yeah, pretty much everybody's already doing their pre-Black Friday sales. Big companies that can afford to do that are doing their pre-Black Friday sales. So never too early.
Awesome. Well, Linda, thank you so much for hanging out with us. This has been a very educational live stream, even though we had tech issues in the beginning. That's always to be expected. I told everyone, like, when we first started, I said, there's never been a live stream that didn't have tech issues. Even Anthony Wolf has to like run and restart his computer when we do them. So thank you so much for hanging out with us. We had so much fun. And guys, Handmade Alpha Academy, last spiel, it will be opening December 1st. Handmade Alpha VIP members will get a big fat discount. Make sure that you join the VIP list linked down below and expect an email from me around the 1st with that big fat discount. And I totally lost my train of thought. Oh, Linda's shops are linked down below if you want to go look at her shops. If you want to hire her out for some great branding and packaging work, she does amazing work. She is a Handmade Alpha Academy student, and she is so freaking active in not only our community, but with her buyers who are sellers that she works with. So thank you, Linda. Everyone's like, yay, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Loves you. All right. Have an awesome weekend, guys. And Linda, don't click anything, because when I get off of this chat, you and I will still be together.
Okay.
Hashtag or hashtag smash that like button. Yeah, smash that like button.
Smash that like button if you liked Linda and if you like this Q&A, and we will do more of them all this month.
And
Have-
subscribe.
And subscribe. Have a great weekend, guys. Bye.
Bye.